button, and I have to hit 2 Instagram buttons now. So this is someday I will put like a cute video and people won't have to watch this. But till then, we got to do, okay, I hit that Instagram. We're having trouble streaming to this one. Do I need a new code? Hold, please. One of them does not want to go live. Oh, dang. Let's see if I can get it back. Oh, it's Emily. Thank you for coming, Emily. While I'm not yet situated. Oh, look, show comments on stage. Whoop, whoop. I see you. I see you too. Look at this comment. Hello. Goodbye. I have the power. I was trying to stream to both the Paradise Pleasures Instagram, which that one is working, but now mine's not working. So we're just going to have to live without it today. I don't know why. Because it makes me a sad panda. But here we are. But here we are. Can I edit up here maybe? Oh, wait. Hold, please. I can do it. Maybe. Maybe. Live video. You know, someday I'll have like a producer, so you won't see all of this. But you know what? I always set out to have a very authentic show. So here we are. Authentica.
Yeah. You know, it's almost better when you can see all our mistakes. It means we're not AI. We're real people because we screw up from time to time.
How did that become the thing? Because I was using that in some of my pitches at XBiz, or like just in, you know, pitching to you guys. Like we had that picture and we had a model and we put the plug on top of her booty and it came out really nice and I thought tasteful. And then, you know, I had to tell people, guess what? That's not AI. Did you know that? That was the selling point. That was the selling point. But that's okay.
Yeah, none of the stuff I've created for this product has been AI. It's all been my own Photoshop work and lots and lots.
And you're brilliant with it. Brilliant. Okay.
You're too kind.
No, I mean, I'm just learning. I don't know if y'all saw it. It was my first ever voiceover reel where I tried to push buttons. And then, of course, my Scorpio King boss was like, you forgot something. And I did. So I'm going to have to go back and do that one. But we're learning. Thank you, Emily. We're just moving and grooving here. But what I did want to talk about was, you know, some things with the Nathan here and organic growth marketing and maybe play with the Illumination toys because they're shipping today? Question mark? Today. Right now. There could be stores that have this tomorrow. Maybe not tomorrow, but Thursday.
More likely Thursday. But yeah,
Thursday,
stores
Friday.
Are getting it Thursday.
It's here before Valentine's Day. Emily says, hi, Nathan.
Hi, Emily.
You guys
whatever your upgrades are great. I can actually see all the comments in the stream and stuff now.
See,
whatever
I was trying to
do, great.
Look at this. Magic. Do you like my little black and gold background? I don't know that everybody can see it, but I just thought it was going to be fun because
I love it.
Thank you. AI made it. So use it for some things, but don't use it for some other things because it's not, in my opinion, helpful. It's only as good as much information as you put in there. Okay. So tangent aside, we've clicked all the buttons. Welcome. It is Tuesday. My name is Tori. So welcome to a cleverly named show, Tuesdays with Tori. If you don't know, and you just kind of like landed on my sparkly little page here, great. I'm Tori and I'm a sales director at Paradise, which has been your condom distributor in the adult industry sort of life. To now, I have a very creative boss and sometimes I like to be creative too. And I miss product development and apparently so did him. Or, you know, my other story is we were working on a way, which you were kind of there for some of this and you didn't know what was happening maybe, but you, the whole audience as well, trying to figure out how to light up condoms, make them a little bit more exciting. That just turned into a white toy that makes all the colors. And if you're concerned about any of that stuff, just put a condom on. I love it. But as your condom charmer, we've now become, I don't know, LED lady as well. I'm going to work on that. But as the person who spent the last 3 years here talking to the internet, the void, as I like to call it, the ether, Mostly just talking about things that I wanted to talk about that I didn't see other people talking about. And then somehow y'all kept showing up. And now I'm still writing this title, right? The Exodus 2026 Pulse of the People winner. So now it's your fault, everybody. I have to keep going and upgrading because you keep feeding me, but I'm going to take it. I should change some things here in a minute. I just got your message. Can I go back and change that?
You should be able to.
I'm going to work on that when you start talking. So I'm going to finish setting you up, and then that way I can clicky and people won't know.
I see.
So the show started in condoms, and it's going to stay in condoms, but now we're letting it evolve. And I'm just going to bring you with me. This is real time while we still keep one foot firmly planted in protection and education, and attempting to do business in a thoughtful way. This episode today is extra special because it's a little peek behind the curtain. No hype, no smoke and mirrors, just real marketing conversations, because this dude was just at AVN. So now he's got to catch me all up about it because I was over here doing the typing and getting sick. So that happened. Why does this episode even matter? I'm just a chick on the retail floor, or a dude, or anything in between. Why should I even care? Trade shows, maybe you haven't had the opportunity to go, but if you want to keep doing this into your career, it's going to be an important part. Also, maybe your bosses are going, and you can maybe learn some pointed questions to ask them to make sure you're getting the feedback you wanted from said shows. I don't know. But they're expensive, and they're exhausting, and they're overwhelming, and I want to know, and I'm hoping everybody else wants to know, what actually works and what doesn't, and specifically how organic marketing fits into a real business strategy when ad dollars are tight, if not non-existent. So this episode is about growth without gimmicks, but I mean gimmicks like, paying $10,000 for the correct SEO keywords, stuff like that. We're just going to go back to the roots, so to speak. Hello from Bedroom Secrets. Thank you for coming. So without further ado, who's today's guest? I'm joined by Nathan. Woo! Someone who lives and breathes marketing execution in this industry because that's his job. That's his whole job. You're the marketing director at Eldorado and one of the most influential distributors in our space. You had to go to AVN last week, and you worked directly with our team for some launch plans on the Illumination series. Let's talk about what landed and what didn't. And we're just going to dive into it. Nathan, welcome. Let's start at the beginning. Tell everybody who you are and what your role at Eldorado actually looks like on a day-to-day.
So I'm the marketing director at Eldorado, as Tori said. My name's Nathan Morimoto. Please don't worry about my last name. Not even Tori's computer can get it right very often.
Hey, but I spelled it right on the post. I spelled it right on the post, I think. It was a busy day, everybody. Proofreading's not a priority. I apologize.
So, yeah, I'm the marketing director here at Eldorado, and my day-to-day is, I would say, a little different than some people, not necessarily in this industry, but in the marketing world in general, because I'm not just overseeing, but I'm executing pretty much all of our marketing here. I do have a small team that works for me to make sure that we get all our graphics done and all our materials are beautiful and wonderful. And I definitely could not do this job without my team. That said,
yay, team! Teams are important.
I'm crazy busy almost all the time, which is worse, or not worse, it's better than being bored. I've worked some marketing jobs where I had, similar duties, making sure everything executes, and they were very boring and just grueling. Whereas at Eldorado,
it can super kill your creativity when that's like your job.
Yeah. And here at Eldorado, I'm loving it because most days I show up at work at 7:30 in the morning, and at 4:30 in the afternoon, Preston yells at me to go home. So
we love you, Preston.
It just goes right by. Yeah. And here in this industry, I've only been in the industry for a couple of years. Let's actually say 2 years, 2 months, and 12 days.
That's
in the industry.
Specific.
Yeah, I actually had to look that up for other reasons today. So I knew that. But yeah, I get to do a lot of trade shows, and we'll talk about something I'm going to do to get more people at shows later this year. I'm guessing probably later in this little podcast or
This little
webcast, whatever we
diddly, what
call
I
it
call
these
it a
days.
web stream. I don't know if I need to
Yeah.
change my language later. I could be getting some additional resources, and maybe it'll
Ooh.
be a whole. Maybe I'll get a whole website, guys. Do you want a website? Would you go there? I don't even know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, maybe we should get a Twitch channel or something. Do something fun
Ooh,
like that.
even though I'm not gaming, I guess I could game or do other things.
You don't
See,
have to game to do stuff on Twitch.
look it. I don't even know. This is amazing. We're gonna any more guys. Let's pick his brain. I didn't even know about the
Yeah.
Twitch stuff. Start slamming in your questions. This is great. I also want to know, how did you get into marketing in this adult industry, right? Like, I know because we've had conversations, but tell everybody how you went from what government contracts to giving a shit about our business.
Yeah, well, it went government contracts to doing, I mean, in the most recent iterations of my life, government contracts to high-end office equipment, like $100,000 copiers. Boring, so boring. And then getting into this. And honestly, I can't remember if Preston looked me up because I said I was looking on LinkedIn or I turned in an application, but I got an email from Preston one day saying, "Hey, interested in interviewing you for this job." And I said, "Hell yeah." And it just kind of went from there.
It was all the Preston. He's a
Yeah,
good
pretty
kid,
much.
and I'm obsessed with his dogs. That's another episode.
Yeah,
But
we should have a whole episode just on Preston's dogs.
can we have just a dog episode? I would love that.
Oh, we should. We should.
Everybody, let's share our dogs. That would be great. So coming from what most people would consider mainstream or really buttoned up, right? Government contracting. What makes marketing in this space different from traditional consumer marketing?
Well, first off, let's talk about corporate culture.
That's a big one.
In this industry and no other, can I go to one of my employees and say, which of these butt plugs do you think is prettier and not end up in HR?
I think everybody has a moment of that. Corporate culture. I think it took me
Yeah.
about 2 years though, because right, I wasn't necessarily applying for my gig. That was at the Liquid Life there, right? My husband worked for Fascinations and then got recruited from the old owner. This is over a decade now, and then I ended up just continuing to love it and continuing to work, and so now I'm here. That it's interesting to see, at least to me, how people kind of grow into whatever they're right. I was doing order entry because my kids were
Yeah.
very young, and I was like, I just needed like 9 to 5 or whatever. Or I was pregnant with my second kid I was pregnant and or nursing all the times here, and I was a salesperson at heart, or I guess I am. I'm not deceased. Not that I was. I'm still doing it, right? I was able to move up and just make things happen. So I know a lot of other people have a similar story, but it's also great that someone found you. That's really fun.
Yeah. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. I love this industry. I love the people in this industry. You're all just the best. And
Well, and Eldorado's
um,
family owned, right? They just
oh yeah,
celebrated, what has it been, like 51, 52 years as a business,
we are
and
51
Wanda's
years.
been there for 50 of it.
Yeah. Crazy, huh?
Wanda is the owner CEO, if anybody doesn't know, and Preston is the VP. Just so people are aware, and it is a family-run business. A lot of the business in our industry has been family-run, and I know that sounds kind of weird to some other people, but I'm like, oh my god, it's great, right? Like you've been able to take your generational wealth and keep making sure that it grows. I think it's amazing.
Yeah. And to keep it in the family. We even have families in the family here. Hey, Scott.
Scott,
Um,
wait, he won something too. You should say,
yeah.
Scott, what did you win? Because I wanted to celebrate that, but I never remember anybody's titles because you know what? I think
Exactly.
it's a big deal. I'm still in celebration mode. Did you see the sparkles in the background?
Yeah, we've got someone in the warehouse who's related, like I think son or son of one of the people who works in our admin department. And It's truly family here, which is pretty neat. You
Well,
don't
there's a lot
find
of
that in a lot
people.
of corporate culture.
No, and there's a lot of people I've talked to that, um, say there's no me if there wasn't an Eldorado, right? Wanda and Larry, bless his soul, and Preston now, they've inspired a lot of people to be who they are now, and they're key people in this industry.
Yeah, one of my favorite people in the industry, Josh Ortiz, started
Yep.
in our warehouse, and
My
boy,
old coworker JB.
yeah, and who we now buy loot from, JB.
He's a good guy to buy loot from. JB, we're shouting you out. Maybe we can manifest him. Sometimes that works. Okay, so let's move into AVN and marketing in the
Yeah.
wild west of AVN. Like, let's talk from a marketing standpoint. What worked well with all of the things that you guys are working on at the show?
So AVN is a weird case because there's kind of a B2B side and then this huge consumer side to the show. And with the Illumination products, we were lucky enough to be in this space that was kind of in between the two. So we got to talk to a lot of business owners who were looking for products, but we also got to talk to a lot of performers and content creators who are in the adult space, who are always looking for new cool things to make content with and about. And that's something that was very unique to the space we were in. I just missed Matthew there. My flight
Matthew.
was leaving, I think, right as he was getting there. Um,
Yeah, he was hanging
and
out. I FaceTime Chris on whatever Friday, Saturday, and they were already chit chatting. I interrupted their conversation. Matthew, I hope you said you didn't scare him. You said all good things because I still need him. Okay, thanks.
um, and so from a business to business side, it was a little weird. Uh, that whole B2B segment is pretty tame and quiet and not really exciting, I would say. It's a lot of quick, serious meetings that happen. And then the consumer side was just absolute bedlam the entire time.
Mm.
It was like a Comic-Con, but people were somehow showing less skin. Um,
I was gonna say, but the outfits then, if it's a Comic Con.
yeah, like seriously, there were people that I saw at Comic-Cons that wear less clothes than at APM. So,
Well, Avion's
never,
probably got more scrutiny. I'm
oh yeah,
assuming, so
absolutely.
they got to play tighter rules.
But the consumer side, Scott Lipkin was over there for the whole thing with our erotic journey, and he's in a
I heard that's the side we
chat
want to be
there.
on next year.
Oh
Scott,
yeah,
can we be your neighbor next year?
those guys were running their butts off, just nonstop. People checking out the toys and that side of things, where we really saw some cool marketing success is we strapped Chris's wife Steph up with this backpack
Oh, can I
full of
find
the
the backpack?
Illumination toys, and we sent her out into the world. And boy, that drew a lot of people in, and even just me walking around with these amazing light up toys, it was, I mean, they're instant conversation starters. And if you're going to try and do this, I guess, grassroots marketing, as it were, where, we paid to be there, obviously, by having the space, but it's not like we were buying ads or anything like that.
Well, it's expensive to get there and then
Yeah.
get your product for the booth and then everything to set up and manage it and then all this other like there's costs you don't realize are coming. So oftentimes you don't necessarily have do extra ads or extra sponsorships or extra great marketing and creative and doing all the social posts at the same time.
Yeah. And by
Oh,
just
light up
walking
toys.
around,
Sweet.
yeah, walking around with instant conversation starters like this rabbit behind me, man, you walk into the spaces, you got that thing glowing, and you're just holding it in your hand. People come up and talk to you.
Is
And
it good?
yeah, at a show where most people are, you know, trying to just get up the nerve to talk to their favorite performer and things like that, when you've got something spectacular like this and the performers come up and talk to you, it's a game changer for marketing. So I guess my number one piece of advice if you're going to AVN and you want to really promote something on the cheap is make sure whatever it is you're promoting is cool. Because if it isn't, nobody's going to talk to you. I'm gonna go and pick on Scott again. The Our Erotic Journey booth. They've got these cool Zodiac toys that they're just, basically a simple vibrator, not much bigger than a bullet, but they're all
But
in
they have a
unique
great
shape,
story. Yeah.
like the Zodiac signs. And we, I'm their distributor as well. And we gave a couple of those toys to a couple of performers because I knew when their birthdays were. And boy, you see somebody's face light up with something cool and unique like that. It's really, really a lot of fun. And these are things that because they're so exciting and fun, these people with these followings of 500,000 or more on Instagram, they're going to come and make noise about your product. And in today's content world, that's really what you have to do. Oh,
I was
ooh,
trying to see if I could. There's the rabbit you were talking about.
yes.
Can I zoom in slightly? We'll find it. No, not really. But look, it's up here. I couldn't do it on my phone. I was trying to see if I could show you guys the app today, but I have to get more technology. We're working on that. But this is the rabbit in question.
Yes. And I got it. Just so cool.
It doesn't look as cool in my web camera. That it looks cooler
Yeah.
on my iPad. I'll tell everybody that. I'm supposed to have a decent webcam. It makes my face look good. Thank you. But it's hard to tell the full RGB LED range in this light.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The webcams just really they get a little overwhelmed because these toys are so bright and so um, well, I guess bright's the only word I can use for it. When I'm taking photos, I have to turn my exposure way down so that it gets the colors and it doesn't just make the sensor scream at you in pain. It's amazing.
Right, like I guess I need to say a disclaimer. This photo here is not AI. It was
Yeah.
taken by a person, and these are really some of the light settings you can make for yourself.
And that's
I love because I customize everything, right?
yeah.
Like want my own playlist. So, why wouldn't I want to set up my own toys to do what I want them to do?
Yep.
Also,
Exactly.
everybody looks good in this lighting. Just
yeah.
just turn it to that red or that blue if you need to. Everybody gonna look
It's
great. Look
so
at how nice
cool
my
because
skin looks. No flaws.
if I could be
Talk to you the rest.
adjusting toys all the time, I'd look great all the time.
Right? Can
Wouldn't
I just
even need
hang out like this all the time and then I'll always look good? Hello. How are you? Would you tell me your name? I wish this was actually a microphone. I'm like, all right, Nathan. Next question. What surprised you in a good way at the show?
Oh gosh. The level of friendliness from
Oh, that's
everyone.
great. Stars are usually so friendly. Like I usually end up talking to a bunch of them, not necessarily at the show, but like in the bathroom or at the bar or whatever. And they're always so super friendly.
Yeah, and it
And
was
very
very
pro
much
condom. Very pro condom.
yeah.
Considering a lot of times it's a whole, oh, what's that conversation that I tend to have. It was interesting to
Yeah.
not get those conversations from stars, at least in the past.
Yeah, it was great just to be in a place where everybody was there for the same reason, which I know whenever we're having trade shows or I go to any kind of convention, we're all technically there for the same reason. But to have everyone there and be excited about it and just the level of happiness that was kind of generally throughout the event, despite the, dumpster fire that the world is, people were really just embracing the joy of the moment. That was really neat.
Oh, that's great. I mean, and that's at least for me, probably Chris. I'll speak for him. It was a way for us to release some creativity as well. Because, I mean, who doesn't want a shiny light up situation? Like, I don't know. I have enough toys and I would still want to get one of these. Granted, I'm not like your general consumer, but the idea being if I already have a bullet, now I could get a light up bullet, right? It's not necessarily a different shape or anything, but it's something different than what you already have at home.
Yeah. And these are soft and nice to touch. Most bullets are that hard plastic, and this is just that silky smooth, making obscene gestures on the camera with it. Just
You're so sweet. Thank
so
you.
smooth.
I know some people have told me they're scared about white silicone, to which I'm like, put a condom on it. You should clean your toys anyways, which we did mention twice in our user guides. Ooh, and is that the System Joe cleaning foaming one?
No, this one is actually the Playboy clean foaming one. But
there you go. But still, foaming cleaner is the best.
Yeah, it's the best, and you can also, use it as a cleaner moisturizer on your hands too.
Oh, I've totally had like whatever girlfriends of mine that got like piercings or just got a tattoo. And like one of my friends, her name is Melinda, like just got a tattoo when we were on like a little girls' weekend thing. This back in Arizona. And I'm like, here, use some toy cleaner, because she didn't bring her soap she needed. You need like an unscented, super gentle one. And that's actually kind of hard to find. Everything down the grocery aisle is scented.
Oh, right? Yeah. Terrible.
That stuff works.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is me telling you,
I'm
you can clean whatever you want with it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Wicked and the Joe foaming toy cleaners. And
yeah, the Wicked one's really good too.
I'd be really surprised if this Playboy one isn't just a white label from one of them. So
it's possible, but I don't know until I look at the bottle. Sorry, I got distracted. Hang with butt plugs. me. So what maybe didn't hit the way that that people expected? Maybe not just you, but the team. It like you penned it out on paper in your head, but maybe it just didn't pan out the correct way.
The business to business side of things, there was not nearly the level of interaction that we see at a show like Altitude or AMI. But those are shows that are focused specifically for that. And I think that trying to tack on B2B to AVN is not necessarily a bad idea, but I think maybe the show would do better if more people could go into the business side and see these manufacturers in person.
Yeah, or maybe just make one giant room again. I guess they don't have space, but yeah, there's a way to segregate it without segregating it? Question mark. I don't know.
Yeah, there totally is, and I think that if more people had access to the business side of things on the consumer level, it would do something that the show as a whole brought for me, which was I was able to really listen and have conversations with the end users. So much in the B2B side, we get into these conversations about you should buy this for your store because it's this price point and it's made from this material. And
yeah, we talk about the nitty gritty. It's the widget. Yeah, like it's here's your margin, here's your price point, here's your marketing plan, here's your support, instead of
and then
what does the customer want?
And getting to talk to some of these people who are, ultimately end users. And in the case of one performer that we gave some of the product to, she said, and I'm going to try and censor myself because I don't want Facebook to get mad at you or anything, but she looked me right in the eye and said,
just kidding.
Yeah, she looked me right in the eye and said, I cannot wait to go home and myself with this.
So fun.
I just looked at her and I said, fantastic. And then she told me why and got into the nitty gritty of she liked holding the toy itself because it was soft and really felt good in her hands. And then the rabbit is the one that she was specifically speaking of, and show everybody the bend. Yeah, that's why right there. She's like, I think I can hit myself exactly where I need to in 10 seconds or less.
Look, oh, maybe I'm too close. This one doesn't show. I'm still obsessed with the buttons, y'all. These are all laser etched and they feel nice and they have like a I got to ASMR this later, like just a very satisfying click. So I know for people like my mother, she has arthritis, and those buttons where it's like kind of you got to press it but not press it can be hard for her. Not that she wants my product, because maybe she does, but I don't need to know. But that was just my quick example. Okay, sorry, got to call out my love here, Shamra. Oh my God, I can't wait for you to see this stuff. You don't have to tell me, but I'm hoping they ordered. I'll ask Sandy later, but I would love, like, please send me photos and stuff when you get it. I just want everybody to light up and be happy in stores again, and just pull out a demo. This guy's gonna sell itself. Just turn it on. Also, I can't wait. You're gonna understand all of it, my love, because we have the same crazy brain, but you're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. Also, I love her. So yay! Glad you're here. Okay, what else were we talking about? That's AVN. I think we're going to move into our organic growth segment, unless anybody out there in the ether has a question on AVN. You can still pop in, but I'm going to move on now. Okay. So obviously I'm going through this. We're a condom distributor that made a product, and it's not necessarily our bread and butter. But we want to be able to listen and not be so far away from everything, but also we don't have a crazy budget. I don't think anybody does right now. So kind of using what I like to call like the girlfriend referral, right? If one of my girlfriends says, oh my God, this was great on any product, I'm automatically looking into it and even buying it, right? So how do we do that in this space is what I'm trying to figure out. And there's no right answer. There's a lot of answers. And this is where I just pick everybody's brain. But just this part is for me, guys. You can listen in, but this part is me trying to figure all this out. Handing out samples that shows when does it actually help and when does it fall flat in terms of organic growth.
So, and that's a really fun topic. So,
and this is where Nathan's no longer my friend anymore. Thank you for viewing.
So, when you're handing things out, you got to keep in mind a couple of things. The cost, first off, it's not insignificant. Even when you take away the margin and the margin and the margin between retail and manufactured price, you're still paying money for something, and it adds up really quick. So you got to really be careful. Well, not careful. You need to
strategic.
Make sure, that you're strategic with who you're giving your stuff to. You want to give it to people who are going to do one of two things. They're going to love it and talk about it, or if they don't love it, they won't talk about it, because you don't want people who bitch about it. So if you can kind of vet the people that you're giving product to and make sure that they're the cool type who's like, no, if I don't like it, I'm just going to stick it in a drawer and never remember it happened. Or those same people will also be, but if I do like it, I'm going to scream about it. And those are the people that you really want to try and target. And then they also need to have a following. And I hate to say that. I mean, there were some really pretty people at the show, of all genders, that
it is the pretty people show, right?
I would have, if we had an unlimited budget, I would have just given so many people things. But we really had to be careful because there's a limited amount of this product right now available, and we want to kind of save it for people to sell in their stores.
Like, so, I don't even have product. It had to be sold.
Yeah.
I have pre-production samples. So they're right. The silicone's upgraded even from what I have. And it costs a lot of money to ship things from overseas, regardless if you're China or not. We're manufacturing out of Vietnam, which helps us a lot because we can manage some of the tariffs, but it still has to get here, right? So you're paying for the product, you got to pay to ship it here, and then you got to pay to ship it wherever else got to go. And then when we're talking samples and shows, right, there's still hard costs outside of the product and like what you would have made selling it. You got to get your people out there. You got to have some sort of marketing strategy. You have to feed your people, all the things. But it's important. You got to make money. You got to spend money to make money, right?
Yeah. And one thing I've seen in many industries, and it's the same in ours, is sometimes brands will spend money on swag that they could legit have just gotten more product made for the same amount of money and given people a sample of the product. Even if it's not a full-size version of something, you can say, hey, this is our motor. It's just not a bullet, but we use the same big, heavy motor in everything we do. You could make product for the same as that, bag or, the nice
Well, yeah.
water cups and things. I mean, I'm not going to crap on it. I love
I was gonna say, but swag seems to be an important part, right? At least for retail employees, right? They use it in the store.
Yeah. But if you have the opportunity to hand out samples of product as your swag, and it's going to be basically the same amount of money, I would encourage you to do that as a brand if you are a brand.
Okay, so kind of just think about it. Like if you don't have the inventory flow, right? Maybe that's not something you should be doing. But if you do have the inventory flow and whatever your giveaway was gonna be, you might not need to have somebody manage these extra giveaways if it does just make sense to send out product. Interesting.
For example, if I were, selling condoms at a trade show, I would absolutely be giving out condoms at a trade show because that condom cost me less than a pen.
This is true.
And
hey,
what better
Paradise
way
has
than to try
too.
it?
Right.
Not to pick on you.
I know. No. I love it. We got Paradise does have its new branded Paradise condom. And it looks really pretty. I think Like a Kitten brought it in to put it in their cute hoe bag. Looked really good.
Nice.
I don't know if Emily's still on here. I'm like, hey, shout out to Like a Kitten, but it's. I guess to summarize what you said, it depends on your strategy, right? Because I've also participated in events that financially did not make sense, but the goal was to get emails, right? So it was how much does the email campaign cost you, or how much are you willing to pay for that, right? So it could be cheaper to go to a trade show and have like a spin a wheel. Hey, give me your address. We'll update you on other things, blah, blah, blah. Than it would be to have whatever person buy a list or whatever it is. I don't know how you get lists these days. I don't think you can buy them. You used to. I don't know.
So a great example of that is there's a show that we're going to do later this year, and I'm dragging you to it, where we, unlike every other show that Eldorado does, the purpose of this one isn't to write orders. It's to essentially evangelize our brand as a way to support small business and the businesses that we work with, who will help support as well. And where that show is not cheap to attend, it's not cheap to exhibit at, but the people who go to that show are people who potentially could spend a lot of money in the long term. It's not about that one big order you're getting. We're not trying to sell out of anything. We're just trying to get people to recognize we have what they need.
Yeah.
And for those of you
or like you're the expert, you know the trends, right?
Yeah.
So hey, I need to spice up my store. You're selling to most, if not all, the U.S. stores at this point, right? You can, without telling anybody else's business. Don't do that. That gets you on a bad list. But you can say, hey, things like this category or like this work out for these sort of stores.
Yep. And connect with a segment of our industry that accounts for a large quantity of what all of us do as manufacturers and distributors for our sales, but may not seem like it up front. But that's the home party segment, because one home party person who's only buying $1,000 wholesale worth of product in a year may not seem significant, but 5,000 of them buying $1,000 worth of product in a year, real significant. And so that's why we are going to go to shows like Stimulate, and that's because we can meet these people who don't necessarily go to Altitude or AMU because it's not a good show for them to attend.
Yeah,
And
because they're not buyers. This is for educators and other networking
yeah,
situations.
so we'll meet them on their own ground and be able to speak to them in a different way than we normally would at a different show.
So why do you think relationship-driven marketing still outperforms any flashy campaign in this industry? Because I've seen some very flashy campaigns just hit very nowhere.
Yeah. I
And then I feel
because
bad because I know that's a significant investment. That's like somebody's job when these things don't pan out.
yeah, I think it ultimately is because we are an industry that exists because of relationships. And whether it's somebody's own relationship with their own sexuality and sexual identity and how they enjoy pleasure, or if it's, a married couple or a newly connected couple, it's all about relationships. And if we don't recognize that at the very far end of that chain, in the manufacturing and distributing spaces, and help our retailers to speak to those people in a relationship way, we've just got to keep it all, I guess, face to face.
The
It
best you
really,
can. Internet face to internet face. I know I'm not the only one with zero to no travel budget, right? It's all going to these
yeah,
trade shows because I can be more impactful there. Versus I know a lot of us are used to the, hey, I'm traveling 2 or 3 weeks out of the month and I go see the stores and, help them merchandise, give them a training and a handshake. That's also very costly. And I know less and less people are able to do that for their stores. So it's not that we don't love you, it's just expensive.
yeah. And again, it's all about that relationship. And you don't get that in a lot of other industries. I think the only other industry I would say that you see much relationship building in would be alcohol.
Maybe tobacco too.
Yeah.
I know some of us were
But
dabbling in that smoke shop stuff. It seems very relationship driven as well. Question mark.
yeah, you're not going to see a lot of relationship building like we do in this industry in, you know, consumer electronics. Nobody selling washers and dryers gives a crap about who's using them in the end. But
That is very
we in
true.
this industry absolutely have to care about the end user and ultimately put them first
It's very
because,
intimate from start to finish.
yeah, it's very intimate. And if you're not recognizing that level of intimacy in the way you do business with your customers, whether it's from my end up in distribution, where I kind of have two sets of customers. I have you as a manufacturer, and then I have all of the stores I sell to. And those are my customers in the marketing department here. And I have to,
Yeah, you have
have
to take a brand's message and keep that voice and tone, right? But make it in language that makes sense for somebody to use it in their store.
yeah, and then help them to be able to communicate that message to people who don't necessarily understand some of the lingo that we use. And
The nomenclature in any
yeah,
industry, I think, is a big thing, right? Like, I watched a master class a long time ago. This is just the example that pops in my head. Enjoy it, people. I'm just a filter of random crap, okay? CEO of, and I'm forgetting her name right now, but of Spanx, right? She was talking about how in the beginning she did a lot of this like guerrilla marketing. She'd do she got invited to do like an event at a Nordstrom's and she would be putting her, counter display basically in other little spots and talking to other people in the store and whatever else she can do. But she talks about how it was so hard for her to just even get her first prototype because she didn't know what the gusset was called, right? She was going around asking for a crotch and nobody knew what that meant. So just trying to figure there's a lot, right? And I know I'm guilty of interchanging words for other words, but yeah, it's I think that's any business, but definitely here there's a lot of different nomenclature and education that goes into selling any of this stuff because again, it's intimate. People are getting vulnerable. Maybe not as much in the B2B space, but it's still there because these are family owned. These are managers and CEOs that are trying to keep the lights on and make sure that there's a sustainable business, and that's not always easy either.
yeah,
How do you think any of this ties into that good old social media stuff? Like, how
Oh,
do we make it make sense without losing our minds? Everybody wants more Instagram followers, but nobody wants to hear post more, right?
yeah.
Because that's a lot of extra work. What do you think actually drives followers like growth right now? Because I need to know.
Um, from the people I know who have insane Instagram followings, like in the tens or hundreds of thousands, I've asked that question, and you're not going to like my answer, Tori.
Is it post more?
It's post more. But the other side of it is don't just post more, post creatively. It needs to be content that people want to consume.
So you can't just have shitty crap out there for no reason.
Yeah. Um,
But also, maybe this is me talking now in my brain. There's plenty of things I've started, and then I was like, nah, nobody wants to see that. Like, okay, also, done is better than perfect, at least for me right now, right?
yeah. And I think that that's something that, I mean, I struggle with the done is better than perfect part too.
Because you got to know
And
when to use it. You can't use it on everything, especially when it comes to people's safety, right? You got
yep.
to have all that buttoned up, all your testing and all your battery, da 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 da. But
But with an
how,
Instagram
yeah.
post or these things, it's just got to happen.
And without
And
getting
as
shadow
long as
banned, right? It needs to be a lot more education and storytelling in it because you can't necessarily just show off the product all the time.
yeah, especially with some products.
Yeah.
Um, and you gotta be creative about it. You got to provide things that people are going to enjoy. And ultimately, in today's world, I think you also need to be creating content that provides some escape. Well, it's important that we all recognize what's going on in the world, and we all also need a break from it from time to time. So if you can put a smile on somebody's face, absolutely do it.
Even for 30
Even
seconds.
and even if that smile is because you totally screwed something up in your live stream. And I mean, bloopers are fun, and everybody loves it when we screw up. And when I say we, I
Welcome
don't
to the
just mean you and
totally
me.
authentic show here. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
Dogs bark,
everybody. We
kittens
don't
might
want
show
it
up.
perfect.
What are you going to do? Yeah.
If I want perfect, I'll, spend $12 on a ticket and go to the movies. But if I want real world and real things, I want it to be imperfect. I want it to be messy. And
I think I do too. Because sometimes Ryan's always like, well, what are you watching? Mostly stuff about books. But I like also seeing how like a lot of couples get involved in the book talk and they do little silly things with each other and like end up telling stories. I'm here for the story, people. Story Tori demands a story. Well, I'll tell you plenty of mine. Okay, so social media, we got to post more. What do
yeah,
you think brands and retailers like? How can they show up consistently without burning out when it comes to the posting? Do we need to like batch
oh
process? Do we need to outsource?
God, I wish I knew. I wish I had a
Yeah.
good answer
Does
because
anybody
there's no one
know?
size fit all.
Does anybody know? Comment below.
Yeah, no
And
one size fits all. You
there is no
gotta just
system,
do it.
right? And it's probably like you need
And
to hire somebody if you want it to be done a specific way all the time.
yeah, and if I had the time to be able to do the posts and level of posting that I want to do, I wouldn't get anything else done, which is unfortunate, but that's just the way it is.
Yeah, working on that whole myself is a priority and an important priority. Like I can't do the things when I'm completely burnt out, but it's hard. I'm still working on it for me to figure out where that linchpin is, right? Especially
Yeah,
when it's like, okay, we just launched a brand new line and it's very new and we're following it and wanting to make sure we get all feedback. But then also, I still got numbers to make. I still got condoms to make sure everybody has. Like they're essential. You can't not have them.
yeah. If please have condoms, people.
Do I need to do another STI update? I think I do. I think it's time. Um, I did want to show off some of the product, but I feel like we're just going to tangentially show it off while I ask you the next couple of things because, of course, I wrote more than we're actually going to get to. So I'm working on some videos and some training stuff, guys. So if you have ideas, just comment or send them, because I am going to figure out this social media. Nathan is helping me, whether he knows it or not. And so if I figure out some things, I'm happy to share the things, right? So let's go into my rapid fire, right? Because that's fun. And then we'll have to do the closings, thoughts, and the goodbye. And then maybe the rest of the stuff we just do on another day. You know, I always love having people back. I like to see, like, especially people that like had on like a year or two ago, and then they come back and I was like, last time we talked about this, what's happening with it, right? And there's like super fun updates. I love it. That's Tori. So let's have some fun.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so don't overthink. I'm just asking you random questions. What's your favorite part of a trade show?
Either the cocktail hours immediately after that aren't not the organized ones, just the hanging out in the venue bar after show, having drinks with the industry people, whether they're alcoholic or otherwise, just spending time with them, or having your boss order dinner.
He's a foodie. He's really good at that, especially like I'm decision fatigued by the end of the day. He's like, here's the things. I'm like, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If you ever have the opportunity to let Chris order you dinner out there in the rest of the world, please do. The man knows his food, and I will always trust my stomach and my palate with him.
Fabulous. What's the most underrated marketing tactic in your opinion?
God, I'm going to sound really old. Smile and a handshake.
There you go. Just be friendly. I call it the Elliot, right? No matter what, Elliot ends his conversation somehow with, so great to see you. Like, thanks for coming to say hello, right? And he truly means it. He's just super friendly all the time. Like, oh my God, great to see you. Like, just, hey, how's business been? It's good to see you. Pull up a chair. Have a beverage or a snack.
Being nice will get you so far in marketing.
But not phony.
Not phony. You have to be genuine. If you can't be genuinely nice, go someplace else. I'm not saying
get another. You probably shouldn't be in sales.
But if there's somebody that you just can't be nice to, just maybe not talk to them.
Yeah. No, they're big enough shows. There's plenty of clicks, so to speak. But also be safe, right? I'm just going to say that. One thing brands should stop doing immediately when it comes to marketing.
Stop overwhelming your customers with choices. I know you think you need 800 SKUs. You absolutely don't. All you're doing is saturating the market with yet another thing that there's already 2,000 of. Come up with new, unique things that people are going to want to see and that will be exciting for people. Because if I see another, vibrator that just looks like a large bullet, I'm not going to get enthused by it unless I see one that fucking lights up. Oh shit, I cussed twice.
It's fine. I'm not that popular. I'm not that popular. So far, I'm going unnoticed for the most part. At least this year. We're only 27 days in, but I'm gonna ride that lucky train while I can.
Yeah, quit doing the same thing we've all seen. Come up with something new.
Well, and that doesn't necessarily mean it always needs to be a new product. Like, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, but a new angle, a new strategy, a new marketing situation, maybe a bundle, a new spiff program, a new rebate. I don't know.
Or new packaging that's exciting to look at. Just keep it fresh. Because
keep it fresh, people. Is that the one thing you would say they should double down on?
Absolutely.
Love it.
Whether it's your swag or your products or the clothes that your people are wearing at trade shows, keep it fresh, keep it fun, it's energy that moves.
But also keep it simple. What is it? The KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Or keep it stupid simple, right? Coffee or energy drinks on show floor days?
Coffee before 11 a.m., energy drinks until 5 p.m., and then alcohol after that.
I switch around 1 p.m. rather than 11. But also
like
I
doing
have
things with my
like 3
lunch.
sparkling waters by then too. The limoncello, not sponsored, but it is my favorite. Okay, it's like been an hour. These things go by so fast, but also I don't think
I
anybody
know.
wants to have a whole 2-hour podcast. So we'll just have you on again, and y'all can keep watching as the condom charmer figures out how to sell LED sex toys. Okay, before we wrap, what would be your one piece of advice for brands trying to grow organically right now? Is there a mindset shift that you wish more business people would make when it comes to marketing?
Speak conversationally, whether it's in your writing or in your, uh, you know, videos like this, even if it's just one person on the video, speak conversationally, because if you don't, you're lecturing and nobody needs to get lectured. So it's not fun for the person watching. And if you speak conversationally, even if you can't hear them respond by just talking, and you'll see it in the way I write, you read my articles in Storerotic all the time. I try to be conversational about it.
It's more
You
fun to
know,
read then.
leave a place for the reader or the watcher to give feedback, even if you never hear it. Have those pauses so that they can go, "What the hell are you talking about?" Or "That's a great idea." You gotta give them the opportunity to think. Don't just rapid fire it out.
Well, and sometimes you can't solve the problem, but they just want to be heard, right? My thing is always I can't control the timing, but I can control like what the opportunities look like, right? So that doesn't mean that you shouldn't make a connection with someone else. Plenty of connections I've made, and we have been able to do business for years, and then it makes sense, right? You can't control the timing, but you can make opportunities. And Scott thinks you're brilliant, by the way. Do you see it right there?
Oh, thanks, Scott.
Okay. That's that. Unless anybody else wants to chime in real quickly, I got to let him go. And supposedly my children will be home soon and I'm supposed to feed them. There's a thing. So thank you. Thank you so much, Nathan Morimoto, as my autocorrect calls you. That's my new nickname for you, but not really because I know your last name. Thank you so much for pulling back the curtain on a little bit of Eldorado and behind the scenes on AVN. To everybody that's been with me for these past few years, thank you for staying on the ride. As the show evolves, I'm still talking condoms and we're still talking education, but now we're learning how to thoughtfully build a new category without losing our foundation. And I'll happily share it with you. But there's the work for today. That's the journey. I'll see you next Tuesday. Oh, thank you, Scott.
Oh, thanks.